the setup, maybe like a Leona. But he's going to go for the Braum, so it is a strong 2v2 if Braum does hit the Q. So I'm expecting some kind of counter pick on support here. I think Nautilus wouldn't be very good for them. Leona as well, not that great against Braum. So I'm expecting something like Zilean, Rakan, just something to round out the team fights.
I also do like the Braum into both Kindred, Jhin, Ornn.
Yep, super good.
Multiple AD carries, the Ornn Horn. So that shield that will come up, the Unbreakable, will do a whole lot of work. And as you talked about, Rakan into the Braum. Now comboing with Jhin, there is some potential kill threat if you can get that shield down. Let's talk about the team compositions as a whole. Some mixed damage, of course, in the Galio and the Ornn, but a lot of AD from Jhin and Kindred.
Yeah.
And then a little bit more, let's say, quote-unquote, traditional from the Team Liquid side.
The only thing I don't really like about TL's comp is they're playing 3 range champs in jungle mid AD, then their real engaged support is a Realm, so you don't have anyone to really channel. It's not like you have a LeBlanc over side lane or a Lucian mid who's going to go over side lane. You don't have a Nautilus who's going to jump in. Your Chenault is kind of being used offensively here, and it's not exactly what you want. It's going to be a reactive Chenault rather than an aggressive one with something like an Evelynn, whereas Legacy, they have so many triggers they can
Do
pull.
I get the feeling that you prefer the draft from Legacy?
I do, yeah.
Now,
not based on lane states, I think just based on team comps itself.
Okay, so
Legacy.
the bigger picture, right?
Yeah.
Now tell me about lane states. Why do you sort of lean a little bit towards TL?
Well, they have the Syndra into Galio. I think that's really good for the Syndra. They have the Shen into Ornn. I think Shen is a really strong champ, level 6. You can play around the ultimates really well. Should be able to push out the Ornn in the lane phase. And if you look at the bot side, Caitlyn into Jhin. I think Jhin is fine into Caitlyn. They have the Braum as well. But in terms of 3v3, you have the Graves, you have the Caitlyn, you have the Braum. Stuff like this just pairs really well together. So Legacy, overall team fights, I think they're good. Perhaps the Braum can stop some of the engage, especially the Ornn Horn. But then you've got the Rakan ult, you've got the Curtain Call. There's so many things you can
Is it fair to say, or is it too extreme to say that for Team Liquid, a little bit of like win lane to win game, get yourselves ahead? If they go even into the mid game against the composition that Legacy has put together, would you think it's fair to favor them? And let's ignore player expectation performance, right?
Okay.
We're just going to go champion v champion.
Yeah, definitely. They need to get some lane advantages. Look for some dives onto bot side with the Syndra Graves 2v2 mid jungle. When you talk about lane states, you can argue it's a 1v1, 2v2, but what I'm focusing on is more map control, using the Syndra, using the prios. You have the pushing lanes, use the lane states to transfer to another one, use the mid push into bot, try to get your Caitlyn ahead. But yeah, I'd say through lane phases, look at what they're looking at here. I don't think they're going to be looking at too many team fights late game when they're even. They need to get an early goal, sort of snowballing gold lead, because I think Legacy in general, although they do lack a little bit of damage with the Ornn, the Galio, and then someone like the Jhin, they have the Kindred in the backline as well. The tanks will soak up lots of the damage, and then hopefully this Jhin and Kindred can do all the backline threat that they need.
Thank you for episode 2 of Learn League with Lamont. Yeah, on the World's Play-In Group Stage Tiebreakers. The other thing that I also noticed, and you pointed out very eloquently on the Team Liquid side, it's not the greatest of engage tools. You know, you're looking for like a taunt from Shen, a scatter the weak from Jensen. I think the secondary games, the follow-up, like if you get a stun or a taunt, then Braum and Braum ulti and Shen, that can be great. But you contrast that to a Rakan engage, to an Ornn engage. At this level of play, it just means the ease of execution is simpler on the side of Legacy, and that's always something I like.
Yeah, you're definitely right. TL, they have so much sort of follow-up CC. You know, if Shen hits a taunt, they have the Scout of the Week, they have the Braum Q. And if you look at the side of Legacy, Tali's actually running the spellbook, so he's not opted into the Predator this time around. Perhaps he thinks laning around against, sort of moving around the map against Syndra Graves will be a bit too difficult, as Isles has a bit of chunk there. And Raze starting boots 4 pots on Jhin. Quite standard, but against the Caitlyn that'll be useful in case the Caitlyn does try to push him in, try to put the traps down and chunk him out under the tower. So yeah, interesting to see how these jungles path. They're both going to start red buff, so I'm assuming they're both going to go to opposite sides of the map, mismatch, unless one of them wants to do something cheeky level 2.
Okay, keep an eye if that's going to play out. I want to quickly tell the viewers about the last game we saw from Legacy earlier today. It was exceptional. It was teamfight focused, and it was Raze that kind of took over the game. But I want to give you some numbers. They had an average of 3.1 assists per kill. It's the second highest of any game at Worlds so far. And in terms of kill participation, 92% for Raze, 90% for Isles, 85% for Babbitt. Why do I think that's important, you'll be asking, ladies, gentlemen, everyone else? Well, because they've got another teamfight comp put together once again. Galio, Ornn, Kindred, Rakan, they all want to get involved. And the way that game played out earlier today in favor of Legacy, and a game that they won, was fairly slow, fairly stale in the early stages, but once we got a couple of objectives and 1 or 2 items under the belt, Legacy just dove in over and over and over, and that was how they found their kill, found their win, and found their team fights.
Yeah, looking at lane states, Legacy, they have the bot push. They don't have the top push. Shen is quite potent level 1 to 2. And Broxa, he skipped his Raptors, something I wanted to point out. So I think he's going to backtrack. I think he's done red, blue, Gromp. He's probably going to go to Wolves and backtrack most likely. Or he can go up to this top side. If Impact gets one more good trade, maybe they can look for some sort of early top dives. Does shut the Ornn down a little bit. He's always going to build his Ruby Crystals, but he could use some of his mid pressure towards bot side Crab. Looks like he's going for a mid gank perhaps.
Okay, we'll track this one. Can't
Needs
come
to
in
go back
behind
bot side.
Tally. Flash is available. I think he will have been spotted up by that ward, and Tally is low.
Stun.
Gets caught by the stun, scatter the weak, Flash already. But that's very successful. Jensen comboing with Broxa to find that stun. And this is again what we expected. We talked about lane states like 3 minutes ago. K-Drill, how that Syndra can be good into the Galio. Now I want to see how Jensen continues to play. Flashless Galio, can he apply more pressure? Can he build up more of an advantage?
I like the Broxa backtrack to this bot Crab. He is contesting Babip for it, but the lanes are kind of contested, so if people want to collapse, there's going to be a fight here, but Broxa has the smite, so he should be able to get this one down. He has flash as well in case Tally wants to go in, but he's turning on to Babip here.
A lot of damage. Babip will
Look at the collapse. It's going to be a 4v. It's going to be TPs, 5v5 maybe.
Isles and Raze, and these are the team fights. That's a long-range dash. The taunt comes out from Impact. Everybody's in the river except Tapoon. Team Liquid get first blood. 90 Calbanet will find a target, and Raze escapes with his life. North America and TL strike first.
Yeah, and look at the minimap. You can see Broxa sprinting towards his top Crab to try and deny it from Babip. Tapoon might be moving down, but you can see Impact escorting Broxa. Babip won't be able to get the stack this time, and Broxa gets the double Crab, and we've seen this so many times. The Crabs, when both junglers want to fight over it, just turns into a 5v5 in River, and this time around, Impact pulls the trigger, instantly TP's in, whereas Tapoon saves his TP. So, first blood for the side of Broxa, and I mean, it's actually pretty good for Impact to use his TP early on like that. I mean, he's going to hit level 6 anyway, so TPing it early doesn't really affect him too much. He had the top wave pushed in. Broxa turns onto Babip here, and Babip's really focused on the Crab, so he gets really chunked, and Tally is a bit split. He does get stunned up. The Shen comes in, and he has no flash from the prior fight, and they do get a little bit of damage onto Jensen. He flashes away, and Tally just gets taken out. So this combo from Tactical, oh, if he hit the Q and the auto, he would have killed him. So
close. The one thing I do like, though, is that once Legacy realized that they'd been flanked and outnumbered, they did back away instantly.
Yep.
Isles flashed the Shen taunt, and Raze did absolutely everything he could to escape. So I do want to give some credit here to Legacy's calling. They tried to save Babip, they didn't, but they are still down 1,000 goals.
Yeah, Tapoon does have TP advantage, and you can see Impact after that fight, he ran back to top. He's escorting Brox to the Crab, so he's just sitting on the door and shield, so Tapoon could try to freeze the wave in his face. Maybe he could get a little bit of a CS advantage, but I'm expecting Impact to match Tapoon's TP when he hits level 6. And Isles just goes for a little chunk, and this is the problem with the Cajun. When you get pushed in on the tower, if they play well around their mid-jungle, keep up the push. If Broxa can take these pinks in the bot side river, and they can use the Channel effectively, they should be able to control the bot side of the map really well.
Tally's doing very well to dodge those scatter the weaks, or at least like put distance between himself and Jensen using the Justice Punch, get out to safety. But look at the lane differences. Plus 10 CS for Tactical, plus 16, 15 for Jensen, plus 13 in the top lane for Impact. So win lane, win game. It was way oversimplification of what we were talking about, but the advantages they have in their team comp, the strengths they have, and then obviously that big TP play in the mid lane. The fact that TL were pushing their waves, they're going to lose less to a Tapoon. Even with the wave under his tower, he's still behind in CS, so very early advantage to LCS in North America. And Team Liquid, before 6 minutes, they've already got themselves a dragon, they've got themselves a healthy gold lead, and they've got everything that they needed and wanted that K-Drill wanted to see from the comp. You know, get ahead early, get yourself some tools, because you are lacking some initiation options later.
Yeah, they use their lane states to get the early dragon. They have good bot side control with the pinks. Like you said, win lane, win game. You can see the CS advantage in mid. Impact just base and picked up a Tiamat, so he should be able to push in top. So they're going to have 2 solo lanes pushing, and not only that, they have the bot push as well. So Jensen has no flash here. He could get called out.
Ultimate is available for Jensen. It is not for Babip. Hero's entrance comes down.
Ooh, big damage
from Tally and Babip. There's a hop over the wall. Broxa manages to pick up the second kill, making it look oh so simple. Broxa just dunking down on Babip's Kindred.
He's going to take away the next Crab as well. Another Crab for Broxa. He's going to take away the stack. 2-0 on this Graves. He's so strong. You could see in that skirmish what we talked about earlier, the mid jungle from the side of Team Liquid from Draft. Graves, Syndra so strong in the 2v2s, and they're just controlling the map well. Legacy need to kind of find a way to open this game up. Maybe a TP flank from the Ornn. Try to get Galio involved as well, but now Galio's lost his TP, he's lost the ult, so it's going to be quite hard for Tally to join these fights. And just look at the CS, Tally, no flash again.
Man, no flash available. That's a dash in. He manages to get the taunt to just buy some time. Broxa on a killing spree, 3-0. After getting all the Crabs in the game, now re-ganking the middle lane. And frankly, it looks like Team Liquid individually are just outclassing everyone on Legacy.
Yeah, Tally's been Kind of targeted by Liquid here. He did get ganked earlier on, lost his flash, then died in the river, dies again before it comes back up, and he's just 0-2-0 on this Galio. He's going to be double this, he's going to be half the CS of Jensen. And you can see all these lanes still pushing in. Impact has the push. He's looking for Babip on the Krugs, just sitting in the tri-bush, getting some information. Jensen pushing in mid, running towards bot side. They have the Shenel too, so if they want to set up a bot play right now, they can do it whenever they want.
Dude, look at this. Warrior Enchant already 4 Graves. 300 gold bounty on his head. There's a 30 CS difference at 8 minutes. Because Tally might think he's colorblind.
Look at Babip,
Everything is grayscale right now.
He's trying to sneak this Herald instantly as soon as it spawned. Look at the vision control that TL have. They have 3 pushing lanes, they have full map control, but Broxab won't expect this. Babip is sneaking away this Herald. He didn't get spotted out by the crab, and this is really big. If they can deny the Herald, they can slow down Team Liquid's sort of snowball potential, because the way they want to play it is they want to get a dive off, they want to kill them and then pop the Herald to get the tower, but now without the Herald, as soon as this goes down, Broxel will get information. And I think Jensen's going to fast push this wave, and they're going to run bot side to try and force something. Because now you have the information that the enemy jungle's top side, you can try to do something bot side. Okay,
seems to be the case. Broxel's already cleared out Grump. He's pinged out on that ward. Legacy aware, but look at the damage onto Raze and Isles. Collateral damage is available. End of the line. Can bounce against the wall. Get away from the wall.
Big damage.
They don't get away from the wall. Collateral damage gets the one. And Raze and Isles, when Graves is chasing you, get away from the wall.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. The second you show as a jungler or you give information to enemy team, the enemy jungle can play on the opposite side of the map. The Herald goes down. Yes, Babip did deny it from the side of Liquid by sneaking it, but now they've lost their flash in bots. Raze is going to lose a huge wave, 20 CS down. He's losing plates as well, so although they don't have the Herald, they still got an equal amount of plates as they would have if they did have the Herald. So Legacy's in a really tough spot, 4k down. Your mid lane's losing, your bot lane's losing. Yes, top is even, but look at the jungle. They have the Shenel still as well, so Liquid have so many tools to play with here.
Yo, Team Liquid are angry as hell after that loss earlier today. Coming into this one, and what a dominating start. Brox, it feels like everywhere he's gone, obviously this is play from the entire team, but he's been the beneficiary, picked up 4 of the kills. Solo diving the duo after the great work that Tactical and CoreJJ set up, poking them down to 50%, and he just brings it home.
Yeah, he basically, the way Broxa played it was quite smart. He read Babip like a book. He knew what plays he wanted to go for. He knew Babip wanted to go towards the bot side after starting red, try to get the bot grab. Broxa matched it. He knew that he would be trying to get his Raptors or red buff and stuff, and Broxa's always matching it, making sure he gets the ganks off. He's 4-0 on his Graves. He has a warrior. It's sort of like 10 minutes in the game. He's so strong, and you can see he was 2v1ing the bot lane of Legacy.
Yeah, absolutely the case. I am hearing from League officials that CoreJJ has requested the pause. I will give you more information as soon as I get it. But as we do have a tiny bit of time, Kadril, take a seat for a second, because I do want to give you a quick history lesson.
Okay.
Right?
Grandpa Trevor with the history?
That's it. Yes, somebody needs to teach the youth of today the history of this game. And Legacy, the representatives from Oceania, I'm going to touch on their play-ins experience as a region since 2017. Dire Wolves were in the play-ins. They went 1-3, and they lost the tiebreaker to CBLOL. They were unable to advance, and then, as we know, CBLOL went on to lose to 1907 Fenerbahce. 2018, they went 1-3, and they were eliminated. 2019 with Mammoth, 2-2 in play-ins groups. There was a 3-way tie. They were eliminated in the tiebreaker. Over the last 3 years, from 1-3 to 2-2 to 3-1, Dire Wolves, Mammoth, and now Legacy. This is the strongest play-ins group performance we have seen out of the Oceanic region. And yes, it is looking scary for them in the tiebreaker game, but sitting in the second seed and with the modification to the play-ins format for 2020, even if they end up losing this game, it means they will have a showdown with either Rainbow 7 or LGD in 2 days' time. Now, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but since the history lesson is over and the pause is resolved, Legacy find themselves 4,000 gold down. They find themselves without their first dragon. That's coming up in a minute for the Ocean. But they do have their Herald, and they're going to need that to pull back a lot of gold to look competitive.
The only disadvantage for Legacy taking that Herald, as we see Impact taunting in, he's got so much damage with Babip's here. I think there might be a TP. Jensen doesn't have TP yet.
What happens? There is the ability to save Tapoon's life, but it will inadvertently heal Impact as well. Mounting Dread, Wolf's Frenzy, the dance of arrows over and over, and the ultimate not used. The first kill on the board for Legacy. Now Raze and Isles come back into lane. Brox's collateral damage is available, and Ace in the hole sends Isles packing. and that is the 5th kill of the game, the first for Tactical.
Yeah, they're going to get the spot tower, and like I was going to say before, the whole bad thing about Babip sneaking that Herald is when you're against a Shen, you want to swap into the Shen and play into him, so it kind of takes away the identity behind being able to put your bot lane sort of basing, drop a wave, run top, 4-man top, and then just try to kill the Shen and just play on his lane. But Babip definitely identifies what he needs to do. Play on the Shen's lane so you avoid the Shen ult. He does manage to take him down, but they've lost the bot tower, and the Herald top is going to give plates over to Babip, but just looking at the gold, there's still almost 5,000 gold down. They're going to lose this second dragon as well. There are members of Legacy coming down, but Broxah should be able to get this out in time. They have the Shen ult as well, so now how does Legacy respond? They need to get some plates for their bot lane. This Jhin needs to get ahead.
Yo, Kedro, I don't know if you know how the shoutcast and Joe works, but you don't ask me questions. I can't give you the answer. What, like, how do Legacy respond? I am not qualified to answer that question. But the more terrifying thing, Infernal Soul and 10 minutes to go before that is available. And this is, of course, the kill that Legacy were able to pick up on team back.
Yeah, good identification by Babip. Can't really go towards the bot side. You lose the 2v3, and they have Shen ult, and they have mid prio, so good kill for them, and then Team Liquid just trade back. They do manage to get Isles. He wasn't really blocked by Raze, but I think if Raze blocked that, he probably would die himself, so sacrificial lamb there. Team Liquid swapping up towards the top side. They don't have the Herald, but Tactical has Infinity Edge, and Raze only sitting on the BS sword and the Agility Cloak. Okay, so the team has swapped lanes. Legacy going to what they consider normal lanes as the Australian representation. Down 30 CS in the 80 carry roll, down 40 CS in the mid lane. Brox is stealing away. Did you see that, Trevor? The red buff lived on 1 HP. I don't know if you just saw it. It was a little quick.
No, I missed it, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
These old eyes. I was actually looking at items, if I'm going to be 100% honest. But for the time being, look at this lane swap. I mean, Legacy, they are down so far, dude. Like, the only way that you can try to bring back this deficit is farm as safe as you can, but you're losing more plates, you're losing more towers, which means TL are getting even further ahead.
Yeah, Tally has the ult if they want to try to defend this, but Impact has his ult as well, and Topoon doesn't have TP, so it would be a 5v4 in between the towers, and I think Team Liquid would be beneficial in that. They're so strong right now. Look at Brox's items. It's kind of unleashed, and Jensen was around as well, so I think it's complete one. Maybe they're going to look for the dive, actually, if they stay too long. They do have the Kindred ult to buy time, but Topoon will not be able to join this fight, and if Impact decides to join, it's a 5v4. All
right, Tally needs to move. He's making his way through the Brambleback for now. There's the potential to dive under. Look at that end of the line damage. The entrance comes down from Tally. This is now
it's dodgeball again.
V4, and that's exactly the case. Not going to be enough damage just yet. The quickness will at least lock down Broxah. He's running for his life. The curtain call is being blocked up by JJ, and a 3-man taunt from Tally. They are down 5,000 gold, and they almost make the fight look competitive. But Team Liquid have the damage, the items, the HP, and they can look to dive once again. Jensen has already used the high skill button, his ultimate, and now he's going to look for Scatter the Weak to set up something more. Scatter the Weak won't get stunned. Babip being run down by Broxah. Teleport coming in here from Impact under the tower, and Raze will get taken out by Jensen. This is illegal gameplay by Team Liquid, making a statement in the tiebreaker. TL want groups, and they want it over the corpse of Legacy.
Legacy trying to defend that top tier 1. I mean, it looked pretty good when Tally flashed over the wall. It looked like he was going to land a 5-man taunt, but in the end, he just gets one popped, and then Team Liquid turned to the rest of the members. And just watching this again, Broxah, yes, he made a little bit of a mistake here by overstepping. Isles identifies that really well and instantly flashed on him. Broxah almost gets taken down, but the whole concept by TL is good. The dodgeball, just keep throwing spells at them. They have to use the Galio ult, they have to use the Kindred ult, and eventually they have to turn, otherwise they're going to lose. They're going to get poked out, so Isles instantly sees Broxah, misses the knockup, but they do get the root. He lives on a really low HP, Guardian, Shen ult, everything coming in, and then Impact does get cancelled on the ult. You saw on the bottom of your screen, Topoon used the Ornn ult to cancel him, but then he TPs on the wave, and that was kind of it. I mean, look at Broxah on the back half of this fight. He just used the red buff, gets the red smite onto Babip, and then Babip kind of splits from his team. He could have stayed on the tower, but then Jensen would have killed him himself.
Gabriel, I'm going to ask you to analyze the 2 games of whack-a-mole that we've seen today. The first one earlier, that was Legacy inside the Dragon Pit, and this one with Legacy under the top tower. Which whack-a-mole was more entertaining?
Oh, the Dragon one was way better. Okay. That was at least a 1-minute stare down of spells flying across the map, and look at the tower plates on top of your screen. Those 2 tower plates that Legacy got was the Herald. That's it.
I can't believe we managed to get 2 games of whack-a-mole in the same day as we've been casting.
Both by Legacy.
Both by Legacy on the receiving end of being shot at, I might add. They were trying to dodge Dip, Duck, and Dive, they couldn't do it. But look at the state of this game at 15 minutes. 10 turret plates to 2, 2 towers to 0, 9 kills to 1, 2 dragons to 0. Infinity Edge rapid fire cannon Caitlyn.
Yeah.
That is 3,000 gold above the highest gold on Legacy, who, by the way, is Babbitt. And that's coming up against a BF Sword.
They can go 2 towers
The
mid.
crit cloak, they absolutely can. I mean,
Look
they
at
could
the
push
gold
even
lead.
further.
8,000 gold lead, 2 items Caitlyn in 15 minutes, and we said it in draft, win lane, win game, and they're definitely winning lanes, and I don't know, this game looks kind of 1-2 to me.
This is an incredible performance from Team Liquid.
They need
Punishing every mistake from Legacy, and frankly, just doing everything right.
Legacy need to find some sort of engage. You don't have that reliable late game carry like we've seen the Orianas, we've seen the Ashes and stuff like this. Jhin isn't really falling into that group alongside Galio. There's not enough damage. Kindred's also really far behind, so I think the scaling is just way more favored for TL. The Syndra, the Caitlyn, the Graves, I think those champs scale really well comparatively to the other side of the board. So Legacy, they're going to lose the Dragon. Maybe they can cross-map for this top tier one, but they need to find some sort of engage to get this game,
Yo, and for
get
one-
a ball rolling.
For one last time today, it wasn't Ornn's fault, okay? The Holy Trinity of Pixelman 001, Ornn, the champion, is not at fault here. So even though he's likely to pick up his first loss at the World Championship in 2020, this is all Team Liquid. I think they have played very proactively, very aggressively. Impact at level 4, teleported to that river exchange that helped pick up first blood for Broxah, like milliseconds after it began. Team Liquid clearly understood what they needed to do with this comp, and they are executing it fantastically. Level advantages in the game, there's farm, there's gold, they've got all the tools they need.
Yeah, I think the pairing between the players is just so good, right? Broxah calling an impact for the TP, Jensen and Broxah moving around the map really well, Broxah and CoreJJ making sure they get the vision, and then Tactical and CoreJJ just taking all the plates in the game. They took bot tower, they took top tower, they took mid tower. This is what you want to do with Caitlyn. You want to move her around the map, take all the towers you can, play around the Caitlyn, protect her. And Legacy didn't seem to have an answer. They couldn't find any engages. They did have TP advantage for around 4 to 5 minutes, but Impact always had the channel to match, so Legacy just didn't decide on a play. They weren't really decisive. They did look for a top play later on. They did manage to get Impact. That's their one kill, but now they're looking for something.
Right, all the Forge got immediately destroyed by CoreJJ's Braum. Look at the damage onto Isles. He's running for his life. That's a dead Raze as he gets blown up by Ace in the hole and the auto attacks from Infinity Edge. I mean, if you look at the player cams, Raze is just like, yeah, throw some shrimp on the barbie. We'll be home soon. This game is over. As Legacy are being pushed under their inhibitor. Now, one thing I would like to say, because I've obviously been a little bit more loose and humorous this game, much to Caedrel's surprise, when you are this far ahead at 18 minutes, like, surely it gets more difficult to actually push into the base, or it should be.
Well, tell that to G2 when they were against Team Liquid.
Touche.
They were on their Nexus in 19 minutes. It's 19 minutes now. TL almost got to return the favor to Legacy, but there's 2 TPs coming in now.
Oh my word. Let's see what can happen, as that's already Tally going golden in so much trouble. They almost get Tactical. 90 caliber net flash heal used to keep himself alive. Raze is trying to run him down, but he doesn't have the damage, doesn't have the item. The cleanse does nothing. Tactical stares down the entirety of Legacy, gets away with his life, and Legacy threw everything in the kitchen sink at Team Liquid.
Yep.
This could be a sub 20-minute victory.
Yeah, Legacy, they had to make plays. We said it for the last couple of minutes. They went for that last-ditch effort, but Team Liquid they're probably gonna win this game. I think they can end here. It's probably a record time in the plains
like
itself.
This looks like it. 19.5 minutes. Isle staring them down. Team Liquid qualify for the World's Group stage with a few last autos. Gotta finish this off before I celebrate it. Legacy trying to step forward and push them back. There's the Heroes entrance. Team Liquid cannot win in under 20 minutes, but they find themselves one loss on Impact. Continue run for the lives. Tactical. 90 caliber net in a reply, and the bullets will not find. Curtain Call cannot do it. Finally, Tactical goes down to Tapoon. Jensen and Broxah trying to finish this one out. Jensen gets another. It's Broxah that is godlike at 7-0-9. And just to make sure it's not under 20 minutes, the final fight. Team Liquid advance to the group stage at Worlds.
What a performance by Team Liquid. Win lane, win game. Not only did they win lane, they almost won the game in under 20 minutes. They played so well. Broxah, Jensen, I just think Tactical as well. Just the 3 of them played so well together with the support of Impact and CoreJJ, making sure they could move around the map, take these towers, and Wow, such good macro, such good decision making, and just really well played in the fights.
Exceptional. Exceptional performance from Team Liquid. The marked improvement from spring through to summer, despite sort of falling off in playoffs, Team Liquid have overcome the challenges that were in their way, and they qualify for the group stage. They do defeat Legacy, who finished the group stage at 3-1 official score, losing the tiebreaker, but they play second. And now Legacy will be waiting to see if they play Rainbow 7 or LGD in 2 days' time.
Yeah, and on paper LGD does look scary, but they have been griefing it throughout the playing stage, so definitely not unwinnable. China's 4th seed has been looking really shaky throughout the playing, especially yesterday, so they did eventually make it on the tiebreaker match, so we'll have to see who does win that best of 5 to go up against Legacy, but Team Liquid straight through to the group stage.
Congratulations, and what a way to do it. I mean, if there was any doubt at all, it has been shattered and thrown out the window. Special shout out to Jat, of course, moving into the coaching role, and frankly making that one of the most difficult games to shoutcast of the world's play-in experience. We're taking a look at your Oppo player of the game. I mean, this is a bit of a no-brainer to me.
Yeah.
Broxah from the jungle.
Yeah, Broxah just identified exactly what Babip wanted to do whole game long. He went for the red buff start, he went back towards the bot side, collapsed onto Babip, took him down again, the mid 2v2 won again by Broxah and Jensen, and then Broxah just making plays around the map. He shut down Tally level 2, level 3 on the early flash. He gets him again in the river, now he gets him again in the mid lane. So Broxah 2v1ing the enemy bot, he had the Channel to back him up. Broxah was basically funneled all the kills and he just carried.
Yeah, absolutely the case. And special message to Raze and Isles from your gold resident play-by-play shoutcaster. If Graves is chasing you, get away from the wall. That end of the line bounces back hella quick.
Especially when he has Warrior at 8 minutes.
Formed. I mean, it's crazy. Look, again, difficult game for Legacy. I think the draft that TL put together, they had to play in the manner they did, but they executed exceptionally well. So congratulations to the LCS, all 3 of your teams in the group stage. We'll soon give you all the headlines from today, as well as a preview from the knockout stage. Do not miss it. Kjo, that was awesome.
That was awesome.
Well done, dude. I'm going to break...
Welcome back to the State Farm Analyst Desk after the last day of the play-ins groups. We're done with the best of ones, best of fives from here on out, baby. We just saw Team Liquid advance to the group stage, and what a dominant win it was, nearly sub 20 minutes. It is probably, for a lot of fans, both in North America and worldwide, a relief to see one team meeting, if not exceeding expectations.
Yeah, for sure. I think in terms of play, I assumed almost instantly the Team Liquid is going to play better. And I think I got a little bit too drunk on Ornn. You know, that you can pick champions into it. Shen, a decent matchup. And all in all, I think the trend has been ease of execution throughout the play-ins. But I think this time around, Team Liquid just bulldozed them through the sheer force of better play. I mean, Legacy didn't have their grip on that rope for too long.
No, they didn't have it at all. I think the comp that TL built overall was just really good against first rotation or early rotation onto the Ornn. I think that in itself is something that a lot of teams have been shying away from, where they have not been sacrificing certain picks in order to make that Ornn not work. And I think even opting for the Galio later on in the draft, I think that in itself is also a weird decision, given the fact that it has had such low win rate throughout the play-ins.
Yeah, and a conversation I've been having with you on and off is this Graves for Broxer. He got it again, and this time, utter destruction. 7 kills, if not more, by the end of the game. I really like what INTZ did in terms of their preparation. They first picked the Orianna, they banned the Shen away, banned Twitch away, and then, of course, also banned the Graves away. I think Team Liquid experimented a little bit in that one because still Ornn wasn't picked and they picked Thresh on 3, but I think it still showcased a little bit of potential what happens next in the Team Liquid evolution. Well, or perhaps even the world's evolution. We'll keep our eyes on what will come of Ornn and become of the counters. But this means that Team Liquid are through to the group stage. Legacy is the second seed, followed by Supermassive and Mad Lions. INTZ eliminated from Worlds, and I do start to wince as I release that sentence from my lips. Take a look, breathe it in. Team Liquid done, dusted in the group stage of the main competition. Legacy Esports will be facing off against Rainbow 7. Is that correct? Hang on a second. We've got the knockout stage preview. R7 versus LGD, with R7 taking the side selection, and the winner will be playing Legacy. And we see none other than, who is it? Supermassive. Yeah, Supermassive will be playing Mad Lions, and that's another one. Oh, God.
My God.
Spicy.
I'm actually, excited for that one.
Very
so
spicy.
That is really spicy. Here you go. This is a better way to visualize it. You'll see Supermassive Lions, but then the winner in the qualification round is UOL. So not only do we find the answer of the UOL storyline, have they really let it slip in the best of ones only to have it fallen away in the best of fives, we also get the potential of seeing Mad Lions fall flat against Supermassive. There's a lot to look forward to here, Yamato.
Honestly, I think Unicorns of Love are looking at Mad Lions and Supermassive, and they're thinking to themselves, what the hell happened over there? I think it's going to be a great deal that I get to see these teams play in a best of 5, because both of these teams, while they have strong players in some positions, I think in terms of preparation, which has been key in play-in so far, that needs to be completely restructured and remodeled, because they need to find comfort again in some set picks, because Supermassive went 0-2 today. Best of 5s, do you believe that's an environment that would better suit the Lions?
It's actually really, really tough to
Can get
say.
Worse, right?
I mean, that's probably like a 10-minute podcast.
It could potentially not get worse. I think that's a good statement. I think maybe it's going to allow them to kind of experiment more in games 1 and 2 to kind of get some of the stress, the nerves out. So maybe that's going to allow them to perform better. I do overall think, though, that Supermassive may actually be the best of 5 team, because they have shown more strategies that have worked. Even though they had a bad last day, they won 2 games before that, and my Lions. I'm just not going to repeat all the bad segments, because I've had a great year other than that.
Just scroll through the memes. You'll see the Mad Lions at the season, Mad
Lion
Lions
Kings,
at Worlds, there's cats with,
Glad Lions.
on. It's ridiculous. Simba's crying. It's very emotional. Regardless, of course, if you missed the games from Shanghai because you were getting your beauty sleep, I don't blame you. You can tune into the rebroadcast of today's games at 12 o'clock noon. That's Pacific time zone. Or if you want to join Latigress on the world's cooldown in just a few short minutes. I strongly recommend that one. In fact, right here, right now. And I'm not talking about Fatboy Slim. Hello, Latigress. How are you doing? Of course, we'll take...
I'm doing great, Machine. So happy to be here. I've even got some of the Blacktop and Chains community among hosts, and we're going to be coming through with World's Cooldown soon enough, give you a preview of all of the games to come, kind of a TLD version if you are sleeping on the day, and a deeper dive into teams like Team Liquid and Legacy with Spawn and Mark Z. But while I have you fellas here, I've got to get your thoughts. As wild as play-ins have been, what surprised you most about today?
Ooh, damn. I think for me, it was staying on my chair when I span. But
that was pretty impressive.
I was surprised. It surprised me. It did.
Yeah.
But amazing. In terms of the actual video game we're here to talk about, what have you got?
I mean, Madline's not recovering, and Legacy Esports is making that run. Like that's basically it for me. Like I said it earlier that I'm still so surprised about it and so taken back because of the fact that you don't expect this from such a small region to actually perform to this extent.
Well, for me, it has to be Supermassive falling so flat.
Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
hyped. You know, I thought Supermassive Team Liquid would define the group, and Legacy were like, we say nay, we pick Orn, and we blow our horn, and then we just take it all the way to victory.
Is that how they call Champ Select? Is that they just...
I don't know. That was my best Australian.
But that's the best we've got, Latigres. What do you
They
think?
just call their own.
I love it. I love it. That gives me all the energy that I need to go into this World's Cooldown. And for everybody that's watching at home, you'll hear what surprised me and the rest of our analysts in just a bit, because you don't want to go anymore. A few minutes until we hit you with that cooldown.
Yeah, that's us done for us stuff in Berlin. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night. Legacy.
What am I saying?
lvl37.
Legacy.
Welcome to World's Cooldown presented by State Farm. I'm LaTigris here to host you for the day, and after a final clashing between an LCS and OPL team, I am that much more excited to have Mark Z and Spawn joining me to run through all of the news that's fit to print on day 4. And Spawn, it has been quite an emotional day for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely has. And before we get any further into this cooldown show, Mark, we need to establish some basic housekeeping rules.
Okay.
This is a good day for Oceania. There will be no name calling. There will be no pointing out the fact that our mid laner just got blasted by Jensen again. And we will be overall optimistic about what has happened for the OPL today, because Legacy has done the whole region proud.
He says with pleading in his voice to Mark.
I mean, I can't promise once the replay starts later on. I might not be able to hold back completely, but overall I agree that, yeah, this is actually an incredible performance for the region, and that's the more important thing to keep in mind is the broader picture than just that last game's impression.
And for anybody that might be waking up for the first time, being that it's pretty early in the AM for our NA residents, we will take a look at the standings and how everything has shook out, because today we ended Group A's round robin with 2 more tiebreakers, just like yesterday as well. We'll be sending Team Liquid directly into the group stage and have bid farewell to INTZ, but many fights put up by these teams straight in the middle. Legacy, as Spawn just mentioned, having an admirable performance earlier on and being put to the test later.
Yeah, unfortunately, we do say goodbye to the CBLOL representatives, but they were able to pick up a key win that forced us into these tiebreaker scenarios. But the big surprise to me is the fact that Mad Lions are actually the 4th place team now, and they will lose side selection going into their head-to-head match against Supermassive.
Yeah, I mean, mirrored Group B in a lot of ways. One of the, quote-unquote major region teams at number 1 and the other one at number 4 having to play a tiebreaker to secure it. Like you said, INTZ is the only team who actually beat Team Liquid, which is kind of weird that the one team going home is the only team that was able to take down the first place team. But definitely a really interesting day, and I think the most interesting play-ins group stage we've ever seen.
It was very strange looking at the top, and at that point in time, Team Liquid being 3-0 and INTZ being 0-3, and the result that happened after. And it may have been a surprise to the players and the staff as well. Lucky for us, we get to unveil some of that knowledge lore, getting some words from Coach Jat.
Thank you, Jat, for joining me. Congrats on topping your group here in play-ins.
Whew, thank you. It's definitely a suspenseful format, so I'm really glad we get to go through the group stage now.
Yeah, I mean, you had a convincing run, so...
To us.
Okay.
Apologies for that. Luckily for us, we have both of you to get some of the additional insight into the game coming up, because Team Liquid ended up having to play 3 straight matches today. Not back-to-back, but with a tiebreaker that resulted in the end here.
Yeah, I mean, Jat seems to have rage quit the interview. It was a long day for them, probably a little stressful, that the fact that, they dropped that game and suddenly they have to worry about Legacy taking them down, losing that first seed, and then you'd have to have played in the actual knockout stage. So maybe that's what it was. Jat was just, was like, you know what, I can't do this interview, spike the mic and get out of there.
First time I've ever seen the man lost for words. I just love, by the way, that we have a system on who goes next, because there's this 1.5 second delay, and both Mark and I, after that interview, are spamming the go next button to make our lame Jat jokes first on broadcast.
What's yours? Was that?
Mine was going to be first time lost for words, right? Because you could never get him to shut up as a commentator. So, as a coach, it's a little bit different now.
I thought that sigh of relief was a little too big of a sigh. Maybe got too relaxed after that. But we're here to kind of cool things down. It is our time to reflect upon the day. So let's take a look at Team Liquid's performance overall, because Mark, at the top of it, they were looking like they were going to go 4-0. But in the end, we saw some upsets from multiple teams.
Yeah, I mean, the INTZ upset was one where they experimented a little bit more with their draft than we had seen so far in play, and for the most part has been, bread and butter champion, so to speak, with small adaptations like slotting the Twitch in. But the one INTZ game was a bigger departure, didn't work for them, and then they went back to their basics. And overall, though, I think it went to chalk. Probably the only thing in Group A that you can say did in a lot of ways. So I think TL is going to feel pretty happy about their performance overall.
And I think that when you have a look at how TL performed, like they had really solid foundations of their play. They were setting up for objectives really well. They close cleanly when they do have the lead. Of course, we are playing a best of one format with outside selection and things like that. So you can drop a game here or there. But I think what was impressive is if you eyeball test the games, they were playing out the way that you would expect the draft to actually go, or better for Team Liquid. And we were speaking about the fact that, you know, maybe this is the only team that we would expect to be able to, you know, we always used to say when a team from a major region comes in from a team against a minor region, it's all about the laning phase, blasting them, quick snowballs. Well, this Worlds has not been about that at all, apart from Team Liquid games. They've looked far and away the best laners in the group, and they have been able to translate that to smooth leads.
Yeah, that's very... Go ahead, Mark.
I was going to say, that's the thing that's interesting is, like, Team Liquid aside, I would say that this is the most upset-focused, like, playing stage we've ever seen at Worlds, and it reminds me a lot of 2018 group stage of the main event, where teams were just losing all over the place. Korea doesn't get out of groups, or they get one team out of groups, but then they lose in quarterfinals, no teams in semis. You know, North America makes their first one. That's how this feels in a lot of ways. It's a bit of a watershed moment, I think, for play-ins and all these minor region teams being able to find huge upsets and, you know, put the major region 4 seeds at the 4th spot in groups, which is absolutely insane coming in. I don't think anyone would have predicted this.
Yeah, and I also think that this is the first one where individual players have done a terrific job of like showcasing like their individual skills to the highest level. You think of players even like Jose Diodo, and as well as like players like Tay had like flashes of those brilliant moments where I don't think that, like, looking back in my casting history, I've never really seen a player in a big stage game like have that when you're only winning, you know, one game maybe in your group. So I think that not only were there upsets, but there were individual players that like showed up to a further extent that I'd seen in the past and showed that maybe that gap is finally closing on the individual skill level, which I think is pretty big for these other regions.
Yeah, let's dive a bit deeper into that, because if we're looking at what's happened in play-in so far, both Group A and Group B did force 2 tiebreakers each. Nobody went undefeated throughout this entire process, and we're talking about how even the play styles are different than we may have expected. We're seeing upsets against major regions. Spawn, why do you think that has resulted in this being such a competitive play-ins experience?
Well, as I said, like mainly the thing that play-ins teams used to try and do is they used to come in, try and blitz, get early game objective leads, and then be able to close the game out quickly, because you had to hit these bigger regions fast and kind of put them on the back foot. But what we've actually seen this play-ins is that the individual skill gap isn't there. So you can drag them late. You can out-team fight them with better compositions. We're seeing things like Graves, Orianna, Ornn shoot up in priority. And I think this is the first time that the play-in regions teams have just said, you know what? To hell with trying to play this weird, wacky, cheese-centric, early game focused team. Like, if we do have some surprises, like Orianna bot or, you know, Swain coming in, let's still play our surprises, you know, the set Mitt from Tally, for example. But let's not go all in on that fast, aggressive, hit them once and hope it lands playstyle. Let's give ourselves a fighting chance late game. And we've seen more often than not, these teams are able to win out on the late game fights.
Yeah, I think the other thing to keep in mind too is like this is a crazy year for the entire world, not just in the league scene. So I think this could have been a good moment for the minor region teams to come in and have the most level playing field that they ever had, because I feel like one thing that happens over the course of the years, the major regions get more opportunities. They have, and a lot of times, better infrastructure and these kinds of things. And this helped kind of set that down. So like what Spawn is saying is, like with the individual skill gaps, there's not lane kingdoms all over the place. They're actually going even, heading into mid game even, and then actually out team fighting. And I thought that was a really impressive thing out of them. And I'm hoping going forward, the same way after the 2018 group stage happened, it's not really recovered. It's not like Korea domination again. I'm hoping the same thing happens in the future now after this one, that the minor region teams can see this and say, yeah, we can go toe-to-toe with them playing our own styles.
And what region did that in full effect today? It was the OPL. Legacy really being able to make a statement here. And Spawn, when we were talking in the green room, you were noting a lot of the community's reaction as well, and others starting to back behind these players and seeing their potential.
Yeah, and this has been a huge day for Oceania in general. This is the first time that, the region that I proudly represent has been able to take down a major region in being able to take down, Mad Lions from Europe, as well as the fact that our old rivals Turkey, who have had the leg up on us for probably 4 years now, will finally able to humble them as well in a best of one. And I've seen pro players from Valorant to Counter-Strike to like, just completely different games, all rallying behind the region. I was making the joke, like, Twitter's going wild, we're trending in Australia. This has honestly been like, it's one of those surreal moments to me. I'm just so proud. This is a team that actually beat my own team to make it to Worlds, right? But I feel like the whole region has done the right thing. They've finally rallied behind the boys, and they're just giving them so much love. And coming second in a play-ins group, like, honestly, I can't wipe the smile off my face. I said to the guys jokingly, like, it's crazy that they've made the world final for OSA best of one, because that's what it felt like to me, right? Like, this was definitely a moment where we could make a splash. Unfortunately, we fell short, but now we get to prepare for either Rainbow 7 or LGD. And yeah, I just shout out to the whole of the Legacy organization, because that was an amazing day.
Yeah, we were joking as well about like, where does this land on Spawn's like best days of his life? Like children being born, saying "I love you, Dad" for the first time. Where's this on Proud Papa Spawn's best life days?
Unfortunately, it's second now because they didn't win that game. Like, Birth of Jasper still first, but this is a close second.
If they beat Team Liquid, then it was more important. Okay.
I can confirm that was the only thing standing between it being the top for the day. Oh man! But one thing also, Spawn, you've mentioned before the fact that the region itself has underwent changes, players switching teams, going to other regions. Does it add anything to this experience, being that it feels like you were fighting through in some ways what was kind of difficult to determine how this would go for the team?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when in 2019 we felt like we had the best Oceanic teams ever, and then 12 of the players don't come back to your region. Only 22 players played on those teams, right? A lot of them went to Golden Guardians. I'm looking at you, Raz and Anero. Like, you really just took like all the boys overseas. But King went to Cloud9 Academy with Fudge. Triple went over to FlyQuest Academy. You got FBI Ryoma right now playing in the LCS, and you have Destiny going to LEC as well. Like, just a lot of players went everywhere. And a lot of Oceanic fans said, well, that's it. We've missed our opportunity. Where are the people coming in to fill those shoes? But you only have to look as far as like people like Isles. This is a brand new kid coming into the OPL. This is his first year of competitive. And his like composure on stage has just been insane. He's had a couple of whoopsies plays, but I think overall the level that he's brought has been super impressive. And it's kind of given everyone in OS that wake up moment of like, holy crap, we are good enough to be able to do this. And we do have that next generation of players coming through. So Legacy certainly trailblazing for the whole region right now.
I think this has given a good opportunity for everyone to sip on those last bits of coffee. Now I want to give them that extra slap in the cheeks to wake up, and I'm going to do the same for you guys, putting you both in the hot seat for some lightning round analysis. Spawn, you've done this once before, throwing you a few questions. You got to give me that gut reaction, not a lot of time to think about it. So you'll get to sit back for a moment. Mark, are you ready to be the first up?
We'll find out.
Yeah, whether you're ready or not, it's happening right now. So 3, 2, 1. First question to you. Favorite champ to watch?
Oh, Wukong. Always has been, always will be, except, well, I guess it's only really this year. But, like, I was so disappointed North America was slow to pick it up. And then it's still seeing play and actually looking decent in all the games that I've seen it so far in play-ins. It's a playmaker in the top lane. It can be a carry. It can also play weak side, too. Like, I just love the champ. And it's still getting counter picks. And I'm wondering how far people are willing to blind it, because some people were blinding it today.
All right. Biggest head scratcher of the day.
Is this still me?
Yeah, it's still you.
Oh.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, biggest head scratcher of the day. TL losing to INTZ. I am convinced that was them trying to knock out Mad through a tiebreaker situation, because otherwise I'm like, what? How is this the same team that I watched later? I don't know.
All right. Favorite YouTube series or movie?
The Blame Game. My own show. It's a real travesty. I stopped making it like 5 years ago.
Best play from today?
Ooh, best play from today.
Go, 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 go. No thinking. Go. You got to give it to me.
I'll just say like a Jensen play. I don't know.
Jensen play. Best drafting team.
Best drafting team?
Mm-hmm.
These are like hard ones where like I want to like review. This is not like, hey,
what's
your favorite sandwich? I don't know. I'll just go Team Liquid again. Minus that, like even their experimental draft wasn't that bad. They're standard. I know it might not be the sexiest drafts, but they're good.
NA bias.
NA bias, yes, obviously. It's not just because they were the most recent team to play, and you're asking me these questions, and I'm just saying the forefront of my mind.
That's why it's a gut reaction, Mark, and this is the best gut reaction. What is 3,275 times 1,221?
Give me 1 second. Say that again. 3,000.
3,275 times 1,221. Quick maths. 'Cause we always like to ask.
No, wait. 3,343,775.
I don't actually know the answer, so I don't.
How could you guys not be ready? Huh? Production team? What are we doing here?
I wasn't expecting you to give a real answer to begin with, so props to you for that.
I mean, I definitely did not open up another tab and then search that in Google.
Kann sein, dass, dass der Mitte move, der Braum. No
ja, die Botlane kann gerade moven, ja. Graves ist auf Top Grab. Kann gut sein, dass die auch einmal die Bot Grab gerade nehmen.
Wieder mit
Braum Mitte, Braum Mitte.
Ja, Early Reset hier.
2 Mitte wieder.
Richtig Bock auf dich.
Oh ja, das ist ziemlich bitter in so einem Assassinen-Matchup, wenn ich early so behind falle. Ich glaube, wir können nichts dagegen machen, ne?
Ja.
Ich werde ihm jetzt wahrscheinlich auch noch rauspushen helfen dann nach der Kamera.
Der ist hier.
Vorsicht, Graves ist auch unten an der Kamera.
Graves ist auch Botzeit.
Ja, die Lane pusht jetzt zu denen, also wir bräuchten gleich Unterstützung, wenn die freezen wollen.
Mitte geht jetzt resetten, der wird sich DP-Advantage aber aufheben können, ne? Ich meint. Und jetzt, ich werde auch keine Pressure haben. Hawk kommt nach oben.
Ja, haben mich gespottet zu Top.
Könnten Toplane killen.
Ja, ich gehe hier gerade für einen Top-Gank.
Nimm den.
Er hat noch keinen Wort, glaube ich.
Ja. Okay,
let's go. Ja, let's go.
Ja, hart pushen.
Ich krieg.
Nee.
Soll ich mit rauspushen?
Nee.
Okay, die haben mich Topside hier gespottet, also okay. Ich jungle mich jetzt runter.
Ich hab grad nichts ab, oder?
Mhm. Aber in der Wave können wir spielen.
Ja, aber ich hab wirklich keinen Spell-Spot. Hast du ein Wort?
Ja.
Wir wissen nicht, wo Graves ist gerade. Wahrscheinlich Botzeit. Aber ist nicht 100%.
Ja, Bot freeze jetzt halt.
Auch wieder.
Also wir brauchen jetzt unbedingt gleich
Ja,
hier.
ich bin on my way Botzeit hier gerade. Und ich kann Mitte davor noch raus.
Ja, Braum kann Mitte kommen. Braum kann Mitte kommen.
Also wird schwierig für mich zu
Wir können jetzt einen Reset nehmen hier unten. Willst du, wenn ich vom Reset Mitte komme jetzt?
Die haben Drake genommen. Ich muss halt einmal die Wave gescheit rauspushen.
Wir müssen interrupten hier.
Und dann muss ich die in meinem Drittel halten jetzt, wenn es geht.
Ja, ich kann dich hier mit rauspushen gerade. Ne?
Ja.
Ich move auch mal Mitte.
Die wird halt 6.
Ich bin da, wenn die reingehen.
Ja, okay, vielleicht Flash.
Grace war beim Dragon, ne?
Ist 6, fast.
Hat 6 bekommen.
Ja. Aber das ist natürlich heavy hier. Kutscher, kommst du Mitte?
Ja, ich muss grad
Braum ist immer noch Miss.
unterwegs.
Ja, ist auch mit da.
Ja, Braum ist auch hier.
Die helfen ja halt die ganze Zeit Grace auch, ja.
Bin da.
Kann halt nichts machen. Grace hat keinen Flash, aber die Permafreezen halt einfach die Lane.
Hot Slow pusht jetzt sonst.
Okay. Ich glaube, der Freeze ist gebrochen.
Okay, die spotten mich hier auf Raptor.
Um die Frucht und dann gehe ich wieder Mitte.
Ja.
Ja, den geben wir.
Sign hat jetzt Perma.
Weil der Kali hat die ganze Zeit Pressure, ne, in der Mitte.
Oh. Bot wieder Miss. Können hier mal hart pushen und vielleicht für Vision holen?
Ja,
wir den ein bisschen früher spotten.
Den Rücken geben gleich. Nach Drugs Top Vision Planford benutzt.
Ja, da ist Braum da wahrscheinlich.
Die könnten Topside invaden.
Ja, ich bin Half AP Top. Weiß nicht, ob die mich diven können hier. Glaube aber
Wer ist hier, der Braum?
Okay, dann war das Graves Topside. Ich bin hier unten.
Aber den Zone, dann kann ich auf Blading gehen.
Wir können hier Deep Vision jetzt holen. Wir haben hier eine
Plant.
Hast du Ward?
Ne, 10 Sekunden erst.
Die Ashe wird zu uns Six-Hitten, die hat sehr viel Solo-XP bekommen.
Du, Phil, ich glaube, du musst mir ein Reset geben.
Ja. Ich kann hochkommen jetzt.
Ja, Ashe ist 6, Braum ist 5. Brauchen wir wieder Miss?
Ich bin on my way top.
Ja, der hat keinen Pferd.
Mitte. Okay.
So, unten auch Solar.
Danke dir.
Der könnte Herald
Ja, wenn die es
crushen.
gut spielen, bin ich hier da.
Ja, ich komm runter.
Ah, die moven zu dir?
Ich
Vorsicht.
kann dir, glaube ich, Top Can Reset geben. Ne?
Wir den River rein.
Okay.
Kann sein, dass die Mitte kollapsen jetzt.
Könnten diven.
Naja.
Ich komme jetzt langsam hinterher, aber ich brauche noch ein bisschen.
Ich denke, Graves ist auf Herald.
Ja, ist er.
Ich muss aber ganz außen rum.
Ich kann top probieren, hier einen Schießgang zu kriegen.
Ich bin out of mana. Nach einem Minion könnte ich ulten.
Arrow.
Let's go.
Ja, ich komme hoch.
Ich
bin noch fast.
Holy shit. Akali kein Flash, keine Ulti, Great Ash kein Flash.
Good job.
Good job. Ich hätte dann wieder TP für mit euch, glaube ich.
Ja, Ashe verpasst auch eine ziemlich dicke Wave hier
Nice.
gerade.
Da kann sein, dass die
Akali kann kommen oder? Nee, okay, ist mit.
Alles hier.
Ja, good job, ne? Das war sehr gut. Save mein TP. Oh, ich muss TPen tatsächlich. Der Placed in Herald, sein TP auch.
Okay, ich komme out of base topside.
Braum könnte auch Topside sein. Braum wird auch Topside sein. Ne, Braum ist Bot. Kali TP Mitte.
Bist du Fight Top? Ja, right?
Ja.
Okay, ich guck, ob ich Crap bekomme Botside.
Arrow down, Solar, ne?
Mhm.
Alles down.
Bin ziemlich strong, ne?
Ja, ich habe leider noch kein 6, sonst könnte man da ein bisschen Akku gehen, glaube ich.
Braum ist auch 6, wenn wir aufpassen. Jetzt mal die Wave catchen hier.
Ich kann nicht, ich komme over Akali hier.
Akali kein Ult, kein Flash.
Graves gerade Base, ne?
Gerade können wir können vielleicht wieder das Mark für dich geben.
Ich würde, genau.
Sein kann Mitte ulten.
Ich würde hier
Noch
gerne
ein Minion für 6, 1 für 6. Kommt.
Also Sein ist Mitte. Ne, ist er nicht.
Was mit Akali hier?
Braum moved euch, Braum moved euch.
Ich kann jetzt moven.
Nee, kann ich nichts machen.
Ich bin fein, ne?
Graves
Flashen.
Spot sein.
Ja.
Okay, Akali hat jetzt wieder Ult.
Was machen wir mit dem Drake? Geben wir wahrscheinlich, ne?
Also die Ashes, ich bin relativ strong gerade. Aber der solot den, ja.
Ja. Ich kann
hier
nicht für
aktuell
Bot
was zu
gucken
machen. Hier Akali ist halt, die hat gleich Gunblade ready.
gerade. Ich wäre hier Botside am Start.
Ja, die werden resetten.
Ja.
Kann sein, dass die hier
für die
trappen.
Wave, falls die da drin schießen.
Also nicht.
Ich gehe back und Topside.
Noch das Plating.
Ja.
Brauchen wir wieder Roam?
Akali ist wieder missing.
Graves
Ich bin
Alle
actually
Bot,
dead.
Vorsicht. Akali wird auch kommen.
Mhm.
Akali ist schon da.
Top Dive oder?
Crazy.
Kann man Top Diven, Leute?
Full Life Sign, I don't know.
Ja, müssen wir probieren, oder? Ich kann mit dem jetzt ein bisschen traden hier vielleicht. Aber.
Die werden wieder bei River moven, die haben nichts geused bei mir.
Hat die nicht geultet, die Akali?
Die hat nichts geused.
Das ist, glaube ich, zu schwer, oder?
Ja, ich denke, ist nicht possible. Ich gucke, ob ich Enemy Camps hier Topside bekomme.
Okay.
4 Minuten ist Drake. Ich weiß nicht, ob wir den schon fighten können, leider.
Also müssen wir, ne? Müssen wir. Ich glaube nicht, dass wir den einfach abgeben können.
Ja, ich habe
oder?
bis dahin AI, ja. Ich glaube auch nicht, dass wir den dritten abgeben können. Warum ist wieder Miss? Kann sein, dass sie mich nochmal diven wollen hier unten. Ich glaube, die werden hier chillen. Ja, die sind hier.
Oh, Graves ist hier bei mir.
Akali wird auch kommen nach oben dann, ne? Ich glaube, ihr seid doomed da. Ich kann runtermoven währenddessen, vielleicht können wir dann Trade probieren.
Ich glaube, wir sind fein.
Ich hab Ult ab.
Sign wird hier lang ulten.
Der hat keine Ulti.
Okay.
Ah, die
ja,
sehen
dann
mich, die haben überall Vision hier. Müsst aufpassen.
Graves keine Ult, der wird hier den Jungle invaden gerade.
Lass den killen, oder?
Ja,
aber
der ist
Akali-
alleine. Akali ist noch
Akali ist wieder
mit
mit,
Prio,
aber
ne?
die kann einen Push jetzt holen.
Ja, Akali hat mit Prio. Lass mal schauen, ob wir den. Aber Sein wird auch da sein, ne? Die wollen den Prio auf alle Fälle hier haben.
Ja, die Akali moved auch schon. Ich glaube, wir müssen aber auch. Vorsicht, Akali ist gleich da. Könnt ihr raus?
Ja. Ich bin fein, wenn du rauskommst.
Ja, ich schau grad.
Ich hab Blue. Ich ulti hier. Ich renn weiter.
In die Trap maybe.
Oh, Ash Arrow top.
Holy shit, der Ash Arrow. Damn.
Alter. Holy shit, wie die gut rotieren, ey. Oh Mann.
Okay.
Der Akali ist ein Monster. Aber wir kriegen immer Bot-Feel dafür, dass die ganze Zeit Mitte laufen. Ich komme jetzt dann
Und ich
runter,
hab
kein Arrow. Hat Akali TP
Komm hier.
vielleicht?
Lass das mal spielen. Können wir nicht spielen, ne? Scheiße.
Ich bin noch super far von Bot.
Hier wieder Richtung Mitte.
Nein. Ich bin einfach aufs genommen.
Also nächster Drache, Leute, ne?
Ich
guck
muss
mal, ob ich
einfach einen
irgendwie
guten
halten
Teamfight jetzt dann finden.
Die haben Braumult raus, Ignite raus.
Ali Bot.
Akali Bot schon.
Der Graves kein Flash.
Okay, ich überlebe. Akali hat nichts benutzt.
Graves hat keinen Flash mehr.
Aber Tower ist gone. Geht jetzt auch Blade dann nach dem Reset die Ash.
Ich will für Topside Jungle. Akali
Die können mich hier diven, ich kann die Wave nicht annehmen.
Ich lauf grad hier hin. Ja, ich lauf grad dahin.
Die resetten jetzt normal, vielleicht können wir damit ein bisschen Vision mal holen. Die Ash hat extrem viel Gold.
Ja, du kannst Topwave catchen, Phil, ne?
Okay. Die werden noch für Herald gehen vor Drake, glaube ich.
Können wir hier, ja, können wir Vision platzieren, Kutscher?
Jo, ich komm mit.
Ich hab die P20. Akali wird noch eine Wave pushen. Also. Die haben noch keine MR. Ich bin gar nicht so schwach, aber wenn wir einen guten Fight kriegen, wenn wir gut mit Kindred Ulti arbeiten, gutes Ornhorn oder so, können wir schon noch gewinnen. Muss ich sagen. Haben die Botlane Sums raus?
No Ignite, oder?
So, ich möchte jetzt hier die Kontrolle halten, Leute. Ne?
Secondary Sums sind auch.
Ich gehe hier nicht mehr weg. Ich will die Kontrolle unbedingt halten.
Okay, ich bin on my way out of base.
Ah, ich möchte direkt fighten, wenn hier jemand ist. Wir haben alles ab.
Ich hab 8 Sekunden auf Brakan.
Wenn wir Akali Shutdown auf Sieg kriegen, ist gewonnen das Game.
On my way.
So, ich. Ash Mitte.
Ja, die sind Topside.
Also Drachen fokussen, ne? Drachen, wir müssen nicht fighten. Aber den Dragon nehmen, der ist glaube ich relativ free gerade eben.
Ja, die werden für Mitte-Turret spielen. Die werden für Mitte Top-Turret spielen. Die kommen. Wollen wir hier collapsen?
Wir rein?
Ja, ich kann.
Einfach ruhig spielen, Akali ist Bot, ne? Akali und sein.
Oh,
ich block die Ulti.
Wir fighten hier auf der anderen Seite.
Hier von unten.
Wir gehen raus.
Ash. Können wir Ash? Okay, einfach kiten, Leute, kiten.
Get out.
Auf jeden Fall tot.
Ja. Alles klar.
Akali kein Flash, keine Ult. Und wir haben Herald für Mitte auch. Die könnten euch vielleicht noch diven probieren sogar.
Oh ey, der Turm ist actually gone, ne?
Ja, die haben Herald. Die Akali pusht unten rein.
Okay. Der Sign hat keine Ult, ne?
Ne, der hat keine Ult.
Ich könnte TPen.
Graves Ult ist auch raus.
Aber also es ist halt ein verzweifelter Versuch. Wollen wir da probieren?
Ja, lass was
probieren. Ja, probieren, I guess.
Und wir haben keinen Engage.
Ich glaube nicht, nee.
Okay. Graves macht gerade den Drake solo. Ich gehe nach unten.
Ja.
Okay, Akalis Base. Das ist der dritte Drake für die.
Das einzige Gute ist, dass sie keinen guten Dive haben, ne?
Ja,
also die haben halt
probieren,
nicht so krasse Reichweite. Die haben keine Reichweite. Die haben halt Sign, der tanken kann, aber Range haben die nicht.
Irgendwie an Items kommen, dann können wir schon noch gewinnen, aber wir sind halt einfach zu weit behind gerade.
Die spielen jetzt für den Tower, ne? Die spielen für den Tower.
Schauen wir raus. Vielleicht können wir irgendwie einen TP-Play oder so in Überzahl, vielleicht Mitte auf die finden oder so. Akali hat keinen TP mehr.
Lass ihn versuchen zu killen, glaube ich, oder?
Ja, okay.
Wir gerade Bots.
Ja, ich komme.
Ja. Ja, treffe ich nicht. Okay, das ist fein.
Wollen wir für den Turret gehen?
Akali hat keinen Ult mehr.
Aber wahrscheinlich ja nicht, ne?
Nee, können wir nicht. Okay. Also Shutdown. Shutdown auf Akali und auf Ashe, ne?
Ich meine, ich bin immer kein Gold mehr wert.
So, brauchen wir keine wenn die vorlaufen, Ulti bitte? Boah, ich will hier fighten,
Ja, sollten wir. Die Akali ist unten und kann nicht dazu kommen.
Komm mal.
Wir sollten hier gleich fighten. Ich hab TP dann auch. Haben wir Kindred Ult für...
Ich kann nicht wirklich connecten hier.
Auf die Ashe gehen hier?
TP, ne?
Kein Schaden irgendwie.
Komm mal. Aber 2, ne?
Ja, Graves ist hier gerade gesplittet.
Ich hab B, ich hab B.
Ich geh nach unten.
Boah, die haben das komplett hops, Alter.
Ja gut, aber das sind auch 5 Competitive-Spieler, also. Ich hätte es nicht so krass erwartet, aber die haben mich Mitte so hops genommen, das war Körbe.
Ja, dieser Late Invade, ne, der hat das ganze Game schwer gemacht.
Ja, aber auch so, dass die halt einfach permanent mit allen Leuten Mitte moven können, ist halt echt nicht so cool, ne?
Ja, das ist alles wegen dem Late Invade, glaube ich.
Ja, lass jetzt für ganz riskante Plays gehen, glaube ich, ne?
Ja, wir müssen irgendwas probieren, die sind gerade da drin. Ich könnte probieren, die Akali auf mich zu baiten oder so.
I mean, Baron ist das nächste, wofür die spielen werden, ne?
Ja, oder die warten auf Drake
uns irgendwie positionieren können.
Ich glaub, die werden einfach für Drake chillen.
Also wir müssen halt trotzdem versuchen, irgendwie auf unsere Items zu kommen, ne?
Die Frage,
also, wir können halt nicht,
ich glaube, wenn wir jetzt einfach normal weiter spielen, dann werden wir jetzt überrennen mit Nash. Ich glaube, wir müssen da irgendwo Death rushen. So.
Ja. Lass mal groupen, lass mal mit groupen. Wir haben Rakan Ulti in 30. Ich hab Ulti ab. Die werden gleich beide Sidelinge auf Sideline schicken. Also wir hätten jetzt gleich eine Opportunity, aber...
Ja, lass die einfach straight reinrennen, ne?
Ja, wir sind zu viert.
Ich komme gleich aus der Base raus, ja.
Ja. Hier, maybe in dem Busch,
also Ashe, ne? Ashe fokussen. Na, die
wir sind hier anziehen in dem Busch, anziehen. Wir könnten noch in den nächsten sogar. Ja?
Ich glaube, die haben schon eine Ahnung.
Akali pusht gerade unten.
Die werden einfach Mitte Prio holen, ne?
Ja.
Ja, maybe
ich kann die auch nicht ulten, ne? Weil Braum Shield hat.
Okay, wir können mitgucken. Wir kommen von oben dazu.
Ich bin dead. Ja, für Azir spielen, Leute. Titan, Front fokussen. Akali Shotdown vielleicht?
Oh, schade.
Ja,
Junge, die fisten uns ja wirklich absolut aus dem Leben. Holy shit.
Junge. Komplett weg.
Ich bin also auch clean, muss man echt sagen.
Das ist crazy, wie clean.
Ja.
Ich meine, wie gesagt, ne? Also auch, dass die Botlane halt immer moven kann Richtung
Ja, das Problem ist, durch den Late Invade, die waren legit Level 3, als wir Level 1 waren durch den Late Invade.
Das ist crazy,
Das ist halt...
Also die spielen halt einfach so wahnsinnig clean.
Ja, das ist sehr gut, ja.
Naja, Lost der nächstes nicht down, Leute. Let's fucking go,
ja, die werden jetzt Seele noch holen, das ist ja Fehler. So, weil dann ist Elder Drake eine Win-Condition.
Den stealt ja auch.
Ja. Du siehst jetzt den Drake und dann noch 3.
Na, die werden cocky maybe. So, die wollen das vielleicht nicht clean beenden.
Ich meine, der Fight, glaube ich, war gerade schon so unclean, wie wir es kriegen, oder nicht?
Ey, lass einfach einen Gage mit hier, oder? Schau mal, der trollt, oder?
Ja, ich glaube auch.
Nee, ich glaube nicht, dass der trollt, Leute. Ich glaube, das ist ein ganzes...
Doch, die trollen hier. What? Schau mal, was die machen. Die laufen hier vor. Okay, die haben eh gedrückt.
Wer ist gerade rübergegangen? Arrow? Nice.
Arrow raus, schön.
Ja, was ist mit dem hier? Okay, langsam.
Kein Schild mehr, let's go. S. Oh mein Gott.
Oh mein Gott, du wurdest so gerackt.
Ja.
Es fehlt uns eigentlich nur noch Damage, ne?
Ja.
Wenn wir noch 30 Sekunden auf den rumhacken, dann ist er vielleicht auf 20%.
Also nicht vergessen, Ohren-Items zu kaufen, ne?
Ja.
Oh, schade, Grace Flash, ne? Also Leute, Grace Flash ist 27,15, ne?
Okay, nice.
TP kommt top.
TP top lane.
Die machen die Seele.
Einfach alle auf ihn, ne? Alle auf ihn.
Ja.
Der hat keine Ult.
Der wird fast sterben.
Ihr habt den gleich,
den kriegen wir actually, auf Long Term kriegen wir den.
Ja, die Kinder kann ich tatsächlich killen, ja. Die wir TPen auch noch mit Orn dazu.
Ja, chasen.
Den haben wir gleich.
So, Akali
ist schon da? Akali ist schon hinter euch?
Oh, shit.
Ne, Akali fokussen, Leute. Akali
muss weg, Akali muss weg.
Sag das mal dem scheiß Zeilen hier. Guys, ich hab ein Problem. Guys?
Da müssen wir abbrechen.
Guys? Ich hab hier ein Problem. Leute? Jo. Crazy, Alter.
Ja, ist schwer.
Das war wirklich ein Astro-Stomp, Alter.
0-7-0 mit Lane.
Aber Guys, don't worry, ich hab einen Kill.
War aber auch der schwerste Gegner.
Boah, sind die gut, ey. Holy shit. Das ist krass, ey. Das ist krass.
Ja, also haben die auch gar nicht so schlecht gespielt.
Wir hätten fast den Braum gekillt hier gerade. Also unsere Turrets.
Oh nein, bitte nicht noch tot. Ah, Guys, ich überlebe.
Oh, ich weiß wer. Oh.
Ja, maybe kriegen wir hier noch einen Kill. Ah.
Schade.
Die haben schon
Das war wirklich knapp.
Mein
Ach,
Gott.
Schade, Leute,
du
schade.
Scheiße, sind die gut.
Die sind richtig gut,
Crazy, Mann. Crazy.
Überlegt euch mal, dass da nicht mal gute Pros sind.
Ja, ey, das ist krass. Aber es sind halt 5, ne?
Ja, also deren Botlane und.
Ich meine einfach nur, wie krass dann gute Pros sind. Also,
Ja, also ich meine, die oberen zwei sind ja nicht mehr aktiv, der Sion und der Graves.
Ja.
Ne?
Ey, ich bin aber auch nicht zufrieden mit unserer Draft, ne? Wir haben im Early Game nichts, wofür wir spielen können.
Ja.
Das stimmt,
wir hätten, glaube ich, einen Early Game.
Wir hätten vielleicht für Bot spielen können in dem Game oder so.
Ja, hätten wir, glaube ich, auch.
Ich darf halt gegen den Level 2 Gang da nicht sterben. Ich dachte halt niemals, dass der. Ach, Mann. So
Ja, das Problem war auch Botlane, also wir haben zwar den Support Counterpick gekriegt, aber hatten im 2v2 halt trotzdem keine Pressure.
Naja,
Ja,
das war das jetzt auch nicht wirklich.
Nee, deswegen meine ich,
haben,
aber
ne?
also wir hatten den Counterpick in der Theorie, meine ich ja. Aber
Also,
deswegen.
Es war ja voll fein, was Botlane passiert ist. Ihr seid even gegangen und ihr scaled besser als deren Botlane, würde ich jetzt so mal callen.
Ja, aber die sind halt in allen Fights vor Minute 30 stärker als wir so. Oder vor Minute 20. Also Early Game ist Braum Ash halt so insane für Utility.
Ja.
Ich glaube, wir hätten auch anstatt dem Jin-Pick den Braum picken sollen.
Ja.
Maybe.
Der Braum war
gewesen.
insane für die. Der hat uns.
Der Braum war echt.
Ja, aber dann
giga
kriegen die
toxic.
Rakan, ne? Zum Beispiel.
Aber das ist nicht ansatzweise. Also, ich glaube, Ash Rakan würde uns nicht so ficken wie Braum Ash.
Ja.
Und wir
Ja,
haben dann auch
Jin
nicht
ist
den
halt-
Counterpick zum Ohren, ne?
Jin ist halt nur wirklich gut, wenn du Lane Prio hast.
Ich konnte halt auch
War
nichts
nicht
machen, ne?
wirklich,
Die picken halt Sion und der pusht mich die ganze Zeit rein.
Frag mich mal bitte.
Assi.
Ich habe praktisch das ganze Game gegen 4 Mann gelehnt.
Ja, die haben echt alles auf
Die haben
den
es
Lane
echt,
geschmissen.
echt gut gemacht, haben die das.
Aber wir können, und ansonsten sind sie halt überall sicher und wir können halt nichts machen. So, das ist crazy.
Ja.
Das ist echt crazy, wenn du so ein gut koordiniertes Team hast.
Nächstes Game ist direkt jetzt, oder?
Geil, passiert.
Gegen wen spielen wir jetzt als nächstes?
Jetzt spielen wir gegen.
Team HS, das wird auch gestreamt.
Ja,
Team
okay, das
HS.
ist ein bisschen
Ich
Motivation.
glaube, das ist jetzt wieder eins, das uns aufbauen könnte, ein bisschen nach der Runde.
Schade, dass wir halt direkt zu Anfang gegen die spielen, ne?
Ich finde das ganz okay.
Ja, dann spielen wir im Finale
einfach
einmal gegen die,
um
ist
jetzt
fein.
mal so einen Dämpfer, weil
Ja,
normalerweise
Reality-Check
waren
einfach.
die Twitch-Drivers immer so Freiläufer für deutsche Teams. Ne?
Ja.
Hatte ich das Gefühl. Und das ist jetzt halt mal wirklich ein anderes
Wenn wir jetzt
Level.
wirklich ins Finale
So.
kommen und nochmal gegen die Spielen, müssen wir uns irgendeinen Schieß ausdenken, auf jeden Fall.
Ja,
Da
Blitzleague
müssen wir
einfach.
echt Blitzleague oder sowas spielen, tatsächlich.
Ja.
Ich glaube nicht,
Ich
dass
glaub,
wir auf normalem Weg
legit-
gegen die gewinnen
Legit
können.
einfach 3 Tanks bannen und einfach Top-Diven. die
Bringt uns
ganze Zeit.
Pinkeln.
Das ist eine Strategie, die wir machen könnten. Eine Renekton Elise einfach und bam. Ne?
Einfach so richtig ekligen Kack-Cheese gegen die.
Ja, da müssen,
Ja,
da
so
müssen wir uns
richtig
echt was
räudig
einfallen
witzig.
lassen. Ja.
Ja,
Da muss Phil heute Nacht halt mal durchmachen, weil wir ins Finale kommen.
Ja, true, aber das entscheidet sich heute noch nicht.
Aber das Dog hast du gut gemacht, ey.
Ja, immerhin. Das Doc saß.
Ja, das Dock ist gut, ne? Ja, finde ich
Ja.
auch.
Warte, gegen wen? Gegen, welches Team ist denn das? Also welches Land?
Cis.
Also
Das gegen das wir jetzt spielen. Ich glaube, das sind die Schwächsten aus dem Turnier, die jetzt kommen. Außer wir sind die
Ich
Schwächsten.
glaub,
Da haben wir ein
Spanien ist
Problem.
noch schlechter, oder?
Spanien
ist doch auch sau schlecht, oder?
Spanien ist auch
Ja,
sehr
Spanien
schlecht,
ist, also, das
Spanien
ist
hat
kein
halt
Team,
2
das ist-
Caster aus irgendeinem Grunde.
Also, welches Team jetzt?
Jetzt kommt CIS, kommt jetzt.
Also Russland.
Ja.
Ja.
Russland. Aber die brauchen wahrscheinlich noch, weil wir haben jetzt nicht so lange gegengehalten.
Ja.
Ich kann mir vorstellen, dass sie noch ein bisschen brauchen.
Ja gut, wir haben auch spät gestartet, ne?
Ja, stimmt natürlich, ne? Also eigentlich haben wir schon lange gebraucht, war eine knappe Partie.
Wir bannen einfach Nunu, ne? Safe.
Hast du das Google-Doc von denen?
Ja, warte, ich mache ihm den OPGG-Link.
Die sind alle schon fertig, auf,
Ja, dann let's go.
auf dem Teamnamen.
Ja, dann lad schon einmal ein hier. Denk
wie
dran, dass wir den Client wieder
Ah.
verstecken müssen, ne?
Ah, nice, okay.
So Leute, jetzt bin ich ganz kurz nochmal bei euch. Also das Team, gegen das wir gerade gespielt haben, ist crazy. Crazy gut. Die haben eine Duo-Botlane von einem Pro-Team. Der Midlaner ist ein Pro-Player. Die haben 2 ehemalige LCS-Spieler. Kubon ist schon ein bisschen länger her. Der ist, glaube ich, denen ihre Schwachstelle mit nur Master-Elo. Und der Jungler ist Kikis. Der war relativ kurzfristig noch in der LCS oder in der LEC und hat Gilius immer ersetzt. Der ist halt auch... Also das Team ist crazy. Das französische Team ist noch sehr stark. Und das türkische Team ist noch sehr stark. Aber das ist mit Abstand das beste Team, würde ich jetzt mal tippen. Und die haben uns so geschoolt gerade. Also das war nicht schön. Na, ihr habt es ja gesehen. Jetzt müssen wir Mund abwischen, aufstehen, nächste Game gewinnen und dann hoffentlich können wir noch ein paar Wins holen, damit wir ins Finale morgen kommen. Na? Also wir haben jetzt eigentlich nicht mehr wirklich jetzt dürfen wir keine Loses mehr holen. So. Wo ist das Google Doc? Hat das einer? Oder das Multi-OPGG oder so?
Hier.
Ist da ein Multi-OPGG drin?
Ja, da musst du immer nur auf den Teamnamen dann.
Ah, super. Muss auf den Teamnamen. Alter, wie gut ist das denn? Hast du da gemacht, Phil?
Ja, Phil ist komplett am Smurfen.
Holy, bist du ein Smurf, Okay.
Ja, dann füssen die Jungler bekannt.
Die machen wir.
Pepega Surfer? General Chess.
Platin 4 ADC.
Also der Support von denen ist absolutes Trash-ODP, by the way, ne?
Und dann auf jeden Fall fresh.
Ja.
Ja, fresh. Und was mit Pantheon? Pantheon können wir auch bannen, ehrlich gesagt. Der spielt wahnsinnig viel Pantheon in letzter Zeit. Ist einfach eklig, wenn wir jetzt nichts anderes haben.
Ja, Nunu meinte Scarface eben noch.
Midlane sieht harmlos aus.
Die haben einen Platin-Spieler.
Aber der spielt Pantheon nur in Flex-Queue und in dem Solo-Queue-Game intet der komplett, ne?
Toplane sieht harmlos aus. Jungle Nunu, maybe? Nunu oder Lee Sin? Weil der in letzter Zeit die ganze Zeit nur Lilia und so ein Kram spielt, ne? Und kein Nunu. Also der spielt nur Lilia die letzten Tage. Kein einziges Nunu-Game.
Okay.
Also, ich sehe nicht eins, so, der spielt nichts.
Ja, aber
also
Nunu ist halt schon sehr OP, ne?
Ja. Agree ich.
Ja, aber also ich sehe halt so die letzten 50 Games, das ist nicht 0 Nunu-Games.
Ja, eins sehe ich, aber...
Echt?
Ja, bei Flex-Queue-Game.
Achso, ich bin bei Solo-Queue. In Solo-Queue hat er 0 Nunu-Games gespielt. Ewig lang zurück, das geht fast inzwischen einen halben Monat.
Ja,
nur Skana und Lilia.
Ja, okay, dann würde ich einfach sagen, wir nehmen Lilia raus, oder? Ah, ich weiß nicht, Lilia ist halt nicht wirklich ein guter Champion, aber...
Ich würde die nicht rausnehmen.
Was?
Ich würde einfach für den Support, also...
Denkt ihr, Lilia ist stark, oder was?
Lilia ist fucking broken, oder?
Ich finde die auch relativ stark, ja. Also wir sollten auf jeden Fall Fresh bannen. Ich glaube, da sind wir uns einig, oder?
Ja, schon.
So.
Den
Wir
Support
könnten
müssen wir
2
auf jeden Fall
Jungle-Bands machen, ist nicht verkehrt. Irgendwie Lilia Skana oder so.
Ja, ich würde
Gegen
tatsächlich
Alchemy, denke ich, seid ihr
oder?
fein. 45% Platin Draven OTP, meint ihr, das passt?